Hi friends, so today I wanted to talk about an artwork by Caravaggio, the Caravaggio. I read an article a few weeks ago about a ceiling painting, his only ceiling painting going on auction for 471 million euros. So I was naturally intrigued and learned a little bit more about the artwork. And I wanted to make a TikTok about it, but the TikTok got a little bit too long, so I decided to just come here and make a YouTube video. So let's talk about it. Well, first, I do want to show you a little picture. I am a big fan of Caravaggio, and I dressed up as one of his paintings for Halloween. So here it is. Wait, but before we talk about the artwork, let me tell you a little bit about the artist.
Caravaggio is definitely a big figure in art history, widely known for his gorgeous chiaroscuro techniques, which are the drastic and dramatic uses of lights and shadows. He became so popular his style has been coined Caravaggesque, and painters following his lead Caravaggisti. He was a prolific young and sought-after artist. The peak of his artistic career ranged from the 1590s to the first decade of the 1600s. He was truly one of a kind and left his footprint, or better said, his brushprint in history. Aside from his chiaroscuro techniques, he was known for his psychological realism in his subjects, the theatricality of his compositions, and the contemporary element he incorporated into his scenes, thus rendering them modern and relatable to the viewer. This is the only ceiling painting attributed to Caravaggio and is very rare as Caravaggio usually painted oil on canvas, meaning the typical standalone paintings that can move from one place to another. This piece is extra special because it's permanently on the ceiling, so you get to see it like this. And it is exactly in the same location and same position that the artist envisioned for the viewer to experience it and see it. The painting is part of the decorations of Casino Boncampagna Ludovisi, then a country-state retreat in central Rome, now popularly known as Villa Aurora. It was commissioned by the original owner, Italian Cardinal Francesco Maria del Monte, in 1597. Cardinal del Monte was a big patron of the arts. It was Caravaggio's first big supporter at the beginning of his career. The commission was to create a roughly 9-foot wide mural of Jupiter, Neptune, and Pluto, but why these subjects? Let's remember that artwork at this time served a purpose. It was a tool or a vessel to communicate or do something. There is a big hint, and that is location. The painting was to be located in Del Monte's private studies. Del Monte was very much into alchemy, so much that his private study was also part lab. So hold on to this hint, we'll be coming back to this soon. Okay, so let's talk painting now. We have a composition of 3 lead subjects up in the sky, all 3 surrounding a celestial sphere of some kind. We have a point of view from the bottom up, and we see everything clearly as we were lying on the ground and looking straight up with a magnifying glass. It is just stunning. And the genius of this man to paint with such realism and exquisiteness, it just blows my mind every time. Starting from the top, we see Roman god Jupiter, and we know it's him because he is accompanied by his eagle, the beast/pet associated with him. Jupiter is the god of thunder, lightning, and storms, also called the god of the light in the sky, king of God, father of Hercules, aka the Roman version of Zeus. Right across we have Neptune, right by his beast, the hippocamp, a seahorse/sea monster. He is the god of the water and the sea in the Roman version of Poseidon. Next to Neptune we have Pluto with his 3-headed dog Cerberus. He is the god of the dead and the lord of the underworld. These 3 gods are siblings that govern the world in their respective tier. We have the sky, the sea, and the underworld all covered by them. All the 3 gods are incredibly powerful in Roman mythology. Aside from a direct reference to Roman mythology, which is fitting to a private study decorations, is there more to the painting? This is when we go back to Cardinal del Monte's interest for alchemy. Alchemy can be very complex and differ in ideas and objectives depending on where in the world is practiced. For Cardinal del Monte, we are talking about Western medieval alchemy. Alchemy is the predecessor of chemistry and is a very ancient proto-science system that aimed at 3 main objectives. the transmutation of base metals to precious ones like gold, discovery of a universal cure for diseases, and the creation of the elixir of life, meaning indefinitely prolonging life. Now that we have an idea of alchemy, how do the three Roman gods connect to it? We need to dig a little deeper. Western alchemy subscribed to the Aristotelian idea of the four classical elements: earth, air, fire, and water. And it was the idea that all matter was made up from a mixture of these four elements. Alchemy added three more elements and were called the three principles: mercury, sulfur, and salt. And it was believed all matter can be divided into these three things. Alchemy was also interconnected with astrology. For example, the 7 classical planets were associated with metals. Jupiter was sulfur, Neptune was mercury, Pluto was salt. So these three subjects in the painting represented three principles in the study of alchemy itself. And there is even more. Due to the chemistry of the elements, sulfur being flammable is linked to fire, and is the element that ignites, and therefore referred to as the male element. Mercury is receptive and receives and changes accordingly. It is also called quicksilver and is the only metal that is liquid at room temperature. Because of its silver color, it is linked to the moon, which is referred as female, rendering Mercury the female counterpart of sulfur. Alchemy also had a religious aspect to it. Some saw the three elements as the Holy Trinity: salt being the body, mercury the spirit, and sulfur the soul. In other words, salt being the body would be the sun, mercury being the spirit would be the Holy Spirit, and sulfur being the soul would be the Father. And the three together would be the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And all these ideas do not seem to be so far-fetched for the cardinal to have supported, as he himself was a religious man and held an important office in church and subscribed to the studies of alchemy as well. Looking back at the painting as a whole, we see the three Roman gods that represent the three elements in alchemy that represent the Holy Trinity. The painting seems a bit charged in some restless energy from the facial and body expressions of the gods and their beast. Additionally, we see the rain clouds as if bulging up and getting ready for the storm. Could it be something ominous about the painting? Or could it represent the restlessness of the alchemist tirelessly trying new ways to achieve the three objectives? Or could it be part of an allegorical secret code, which it was actually very normal as alchemists were really secretive about their findings? And they would write alchemical recipes and experiment results in pictures and coded text. Well, these are just ideas and questions that come to mind, but one thing it is certain about this painting: how stunning it is visually.
So what do you think? If you had the money, would you get the villa with the only ceiling painted by Caravaggio? I would. But I would probably open it as a museum and charge for admission. Not horrible. But you need money to like keep up with the expenses, restorations, and the villa. The villa's pretty old. And also like hosts massive parties. Imagine a party and like you get to see the ceiling. It's like this beautiful Caravaggio. Anyways, until next time.